Hey, what's going on, day ones? This podcast is brought to you by a couple of phenomenal sponsors. First up, we got Rose Vogue Stylings. Ladies, are you in the market for a new purse? What about a new swimsuit? What about some earrings? The folks over at Rose Vogue Stylings, they got you covered. Please go to rosevoguestyling.com. And while you're on the website, please enter in that promo code late night. You want to make sure you're getting all of those amazing discounts. Also, if you are in the market for a lovely timepiece such as the one that I am wearing, please go to blackwatches.com. That is BLAK watches.com and enter in that promo code late night W8 to get another fantastic discount off of quality timepieces. Again, thank you to the folks over at Rose Vogue Stylings and those at Black Watches. Now to the show. You know what time it is. Your favorite late night podcast show that we sometimes shoot during the day. I'm Nate Galloway.
And I'm Adrian Brandybird.
And this is episode 175. Wait for the NFM. Shout out to the day ones. Like, subscribe to all of your podcast platforms. Sometimes let the bombs run a little bit longer because sometimes they don't be working. So, that's why they be running long. Boogie! How are you feeling over there? All white? I'm loving the white.
Oh, God. I mean, summer's right around the corner. You can't, it's not summer unless you see some black people wearing all white.
All white, looking like you're about to hit up a yacht party, So I see you out here, pop your collar.
All right, relax. I feel like a cat daddy with this outfit that I have on.
Can women be cat daddies? What's the word? Is it cat daddy? Is it cat mama? Like, what is the proper term for women of a certain age who are? I don't know what you call it, but what do we call the women that are considered cat? What do we call them? What's the?
I don't know.
Is there
I don't know. Aunties. I don't know. Is it aunties?
No, that's too plain, man. It's got to be something like, oh snaps, she is a big money getter, and she don't mind breaking off a little bit of that cheese,
no,
a little bit of that
money
paper,
getter,
a little bit of the munions on the Y ends. So we're gonna have to figure out what the equivalent is of a cat daddy.
Yeah, it got to be something like a sly. I don't know.
Silver cat. You. What about Thundercats? Yeah, that
I can't stand. Yeah,
Thundercats. That's what we'll start calling y'all.
Which I will say, I am not a fan of wearing white unless I'm like, this is like loungewear for me. But if you catch me outside, unless it's not, unless it's a themed party where I can't get out of it, you will not catch me wearing like white pants. Now, a white top, yeah, I'll do a white top any day. But you talking about the most scariest moments in time.
It's like, no, I believe I get you. Like, if I wear a white shirt, it's kind of like this combo here. It's like,
right.
So if I spill something, I can just go to the quick button, this joint up real quick. It's
exactly.
Like, you'll never know. But no, I agree with you. I saw Kanye or Ye, whatever the fuck he's calling himself these days.
Oh gosh.
I saw him walking into the court today and all white on, and I was just like, wow. I was like Negroes really be out here in all white, like it's nothing. Like y'all have no fear. Like no one's gonna bump into you. You're not gonna spill nothing on yourself. I have too much anxiety because even if I spill water on myself, and I know water's gonna dry, you're never gonna notice.
You don't know if that water will have a little ring around it sometimes. How it dries, Hey man,
right?
White. White is a dangerous combination, and like I said, you will only catch me on certain occasions. There's exceptions where you will see white on my bottoms.
If I'm wearing all white, I am like, it's the ultimate like Patrick Ewing box out. Like, you will not be able to get near me because no one is going to. If you spill something on me, I was like, do you know how long it took me to one, get out of the house to make sure I didn't spill anything on myself? And the fact that you are here and you spill something on me, fisticuffs. That's what
Yeah,
we need.
I definitely, if weather permitted, like it'd be different because I'll definitely be like old school grandma with the plastics on the couch. But it's majority of the time people are wearing white linen
Right.
and whatnot because it's so hot. I can't even imagine my ass in a plastic hazmat
Man.
suit. You know what I'm saying? Just because I got white on. You know what I
Remember
mean?
what Marcus Houston wore to that one BET Awards, that little
Oh Lord,
clear bag. So you'll be out here like that.
not Mark and
Just hot.
Houston.
The other thing though, okay, look. So I will say this. I don't necessarily like wearing all white, but you give me a nice little cream. Give me a
Yeah,
nice little cream boogie. I'm throwing that cream on, and I'm
yeah,
putting on some grilling sandals,
yeah.
or whatever the elevated grilling sandals is for Negroes, our age bracket. I'm throwing that cream on
That
like
is fair.
business.
I
Yeah.
will say, yeah, I will say, I know it's coming off as white, but this is technically cream.
Okay, excuse me with the color mistake. My
All right, it's
bad.
not your fault. It's
The
not your fault.
creme. Okay.
It's not your fault. It's really not.
But how you feeling though? How have
I'm
you been?
good. I am good. I am. We are recording on a Friday, which, gotta be honest, it felt like the longest yet fastest week in my life. Like, once you're in it, you just like, man,
Right. It's the thick of it.
is the days 48 hours? You know what I'm saying? But
It's well, like as far as how much time we have, that whole saying,
right.
we all have the same 24 hours.
Yeah, I hate when people say that because that 24 hours, it's a little different around here, around these
I
parts.
feel like the only people that say that and get away with it are like rich people, and there's
Of
levels to
course.
the rich. Like, I feel
Of
like
course.
if you
There's
just got
tiers.
there, if you knew money, you can't say that because you
Yeah,
could lose that in the blink of an eye. You got to have like, I've been here for like the last 15, 20 years. Like, this ain't
yeah,
going nowhere. You got to be like one of them, and you're also someone who probably has a ton of people working for you. That way,
for
you can say
sure.
my 24 hours works differently. It does when you don't have to do anything. But anyways, what are you saying though? My bad.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's been a week, but also like, isn't that what life is all about? You know what I mean? The ebbs and flows for us to complain and cry about and come on and on the internets and share it with the world and shit like that. But no, my week's been chill overall. I will say um that I've noticed, because it's becoming a little warmer, people
Oh
are a
yeah.
little, I feel like we're getting to that point where heat anger up, is
A little
soon
hot around the
approaching.
collar. Okay. You don't say.
I
Oh,
feel, yeah. I mean, not me, but I'm just saying, like, I will say, I think that it's approaching, where folks get a little angry because they're a little overheated and whatnot. I've seen a couple, I've witnessed a couple
oh,
moments,
a couple of
situations.
brouhahas, would you
Yeah,
say?
little fisticuffs, especially when it comes to parking. Um,
That'll do it.
folks in general just don't know how to act.
You know what? I think it's, especially with parking, I think it's the combination of one, you got to like turn your music down. That's number
Absolutely.
one. I think number two, because you're like so head on a swivel, especially
Yeah.
depending on how fast the street is. Like, that's a lot of pressure. So not only
Yeah.
do you have to turn the radio down, but you also, some people turn the air down.
Yeah.
And turning the air down because I can't have no distractions. I can't have no sounds. And because you don't have any air blowing, that makes you hotter. So the propensity to want to give someone the middle finger or cuss them out,
Okay.
it raises. It's
Okay,
that
big
much
word.
higher.
Propensity. I
You
like
know,
I like what you did there. Okay.
sometimes you gotta drop little
Pr-
nuggets on the
Proud of
people.
you. Proud of you on that one.
But I agree with
Yeah.
you though. When the heat goes up, that's a good indicator of if I'm gonna go out or not. Like that will let me
Ah,
know depending on how hot it is. It's like, oh no, y'all might be activated, and I don't have time.
yeah. Yeah. I will say it's always the extremes. Like when it's super cold and it's super warm. That's when, unusual activities generally transpires, or I would say that's when the I don't give a fuckness activates for folks. You know what I mean?
Super cold is interesting what you say that one because you really have to hate someone.
Yeah.
Do you know how cold it is? It's like I gotta go to the car, or
Yeah.
I gotta maneuver through this big ass
Right.
jacket. Like it's a lot that you have to do. And if you're
Yeah.
trying to get away, it's black ice out there.
Yeah.
So it's too many variables, you know.
Yeah, way too many variables, but overall, I will say it's looking, starting off like a great summer. These weekends, I will say, feels like they've gotten shorter too. But listen, I can't complain. I'm alive and well,
It's
and
always a blessing.
moving forward. And I'm childless. So what am I?
Hey man, we're clapping
Hey,
it up to that a
I'll just
childless
say.
summer,
Hey,
okay?
I
Boogies
know
in
a
the
lot of
clubs,
people.
boogies in the
I'm just
cobblestones
saying,
all
I
summer
know a lot of
long.
people are because I feel like that's always a rolling conversation,
It is.
discourse, especially on the socials where they're like, why you gotta bring up you ain't got a kid? Right? Well, people with children still are happy. Listen, I'm just sharing my experience. All my
Boy,
brothers, for instance, all my brothers have children, and I don't like how.
I don't like any of my nieces or
No,
nephews.
no, 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 no! Don't you say that. I fucks with my nieces and nephews. Stop
Auntie
it.
loves you with conditions.
No, no, no! Don't do that. Unconditional, for real. No, no, no. But I just don't like how how they say uh you don't want to look like the struggles that you've been
Oh, the
through.
struggle.
Yeah.
You come home to family events like, what the hell is going on with y'all? Y'all getting
Yeah.
y'all asses whooped.
No, I'm just saying it just feels like my brothers, all of them has aged. I'm still the youngest in this motherfucker, even though I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. You know what it is? It's like those Obama years, like when he went in and then when he went
Oh
out,
my
those were the
god.
grays. That's it.
You know what? Wait. Barack was like, "Hey man, fuck dyeing my hair," because he was dyeing his hair. He's
Oh
like,
yeah,
"Yeah, let me get a little work on here,
a little just
man."
for men. He had a little
Yeah,
Bayesian up in there. You know he
he got
did.
that. He got that touch of gray. He was like, "Let me get a touch of gray."
He
After
got to the point.
after
He was
that,
like, "Look it."
he said, "Y'all gonna see me however y'all see me."
It was a take me as I am because he's like, I
Hey
just can't
man.
do it no more.
I shout out to our forever president, because man, you gotta have couth and decorum. Even though I know, because I during an interview he did say he likes to curse, but I know he is out here throwing it back. Okay.
How many like unofficial N words do you think he said, or like bitch ass niggas? How many do you think?
I'm always
Yeah,
that's
NATO, bunch of
always
bitch ass niggas.
that's always in the back of my mind, knowing that you got top flight security, Secret Service, walking with you everywhere you go. And so he has to feel comfortable. I want to know when the first time he felt comfortable really expressing himself.
I
And
would
how
be
did that?
talking cash shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was, you know what it was? To your point, I think it was probably like when he got in the second time, he was like, "Oh, I'm really about to show y'all." Second term, he was like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like this is what it is. On BZ in this
He was
biatch."
like, yeah, he was very granted, he's always a very calculated, um, uh, mindful, intentional speaker. Probably the second half,
Yeah.
He was that second term. He was like, "Fuck the mind. Let me let me show y'all. Let me really express what I'm feeling in this motherfucker."
These honkies on Capitol Hill. You know?
Oh God.
My bad, Joe. Not you. Not you, Joe. The mother honkies.
Right. No. But
Yeah.
yeah, no. Just to
Oh man.
keep it going. How you feeling though?
Man, I am good. I cannot complain. I could, but who gives a fuck about people who complain?
Facts.
I kind of let myself go for like the week. And when I say
Oh.
go, I was just like, you know what? I don't feel like shaving. I don't feel like doing anything. It was to the point where I was like, ugh, like, bro,
Oh,
what are you
word.
doing? Yeah, it was bad. It was just like called the sack boogie. Like it was like, how I'm nice and pristine right here. It was up to here. I was like, you know what, bro? You want to take out the bevel. It's not an abs. Take out the bevel.
See,
You
you
know,
ain't had to say it if it would, but you just felt the need to say it.
I'm just saying, sometimes you gotta let people know you have, top of the line clippers,
Oh,
areas
okay.
low
My
end, you know
bad.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I was just like, bro, stop just being like a blah, so got myself cleaned up, did a little art. I've been in nature though, so I have been doing that. So you know what? The cul-de-sac and the wilderness beard, it could have been, a part of nature. It's just like,
That's
yeah,
true.
I'm one with the wilderness. I saw an unsightly scene while I was in nature, and I was like, "Oh, this is disgusting." So I ran over a turtle, and I was just like, "Yeah." It was one of those things where on the cartoons where they could take their shells off, they can't take their
Oh
shells off.
no.
It was just like at first I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Yikes.
In the middle of the road. I didn't know what it was at first. I was like, what is that? As I'm walking, I'm just being, an investigative Negro in nature. And I was
Oh
like,
God.
that's a turtle. That is a turtle. And I was just like, ugh, just ugh. Cause also I was like, whoever ran this turtle over, you could have zigged or zagged. You didn't have to run this turtle
Oh.
over. It makes me think they probably did it on purpose, so I felt bad. Said a little prayer for my little, turtle homie,
Dang.
and was just like,
Not the
so,
turtle though.
I was just like, all my nature walks the rest of the week have been dedicated to the turtle homie, so
Oh.
I have been in nature. I've also been on my Captain Ahab because there was a fly that was literally pissing me off, Boogie. Like literally pissing me off. For those of you that know the story of Captain Ahab, Moby Dick, read some books. I was on the hunt because I was like, this fly is annoying me. And I have an electric fly swatter, Boogie. I have an electric fly swatter. Tried that joint out. Boy, it fries them. Kind of morbid, but they're also flies. And you shouldn't be in the house. So, I'm in here, I'm cooking, and I'm like, this is the worst time for a fly to come out. And I was like, how the hell did you get in here? And of course, you chicken. So, it's just like, ugh, chicken juice,
Always
salmonella,
chicken.
and a fly. I was trying to glaze right on by that. I didn't want to be stereotypical. It was grilled, if that helps. It wasn't fried. Trying to watch, the cholesterol. So the fly is just getting on my nerves, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I cannot swat you out of the air. And I was thinking, like, what kind of fly is this? This is a super fly, because I thought they only had 24 hours to live. I must have got this fly on like hour number 2, because I swear he was just every room in the house. It was just like, I cannot stand you. So eventually I think he's dead because he's not flying around. So I'm probably going to find him when I sweep up in the corner. Because whatever reason, flies always tend to end up in the corner. I don't know why. Why is that? Someone's going to have to figure that out. But it's pretty much how the week has been going. I did stumble upon a couple of documentaries that I have been enjoying. I got to throw that out there. The Mortician on HBO Max. This is a good ass documentary. I don't normally watch a lot of true crime stuff because I'm very squeamish, but this one wasn't so squeamish. It's just to the fact where you're like really scratching your head and you're just like, wow, people are just that sick. All I'm gonna say for people who are watching it, bodies, 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 bodies. Some of you will pick up on that reference. If you
Oh
don't,
gosh.
watch more TV.
I don't think I want to watch that.
But That's a good one. HBO Max, they kind of got a couple of shows over there now, so kind of fell in. Duster's a good one if you're into that. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. Also, I've got a lot of quality naps, and I feel like I said this before on a podcast previously. This week, no doubt, I feel I am the most rested that I have ever been in my life, to the point where I'm like, I don't want to sleep anymore. I physically am tired of sleeping. I don't know what I have no idea what has been going on with me, but I have just been like in a slumber for most days. I'm just, what is going on? Like, cut this out. But other than that, it is all gravy. But you know what, Boogie? It can't be gravy all the time. There's got to be something to make me mad.
You know what really grinds my gears?
And here's what grinds my MFN gears. You know what, Boogie? I hate moving. Moving I don't think anyone enjoys moving outside of the moving companies. Probably the only people that enjoy moving. It is so frustrating.
It
Last
is.
time, we ended up moving. It was a corporate move. So they got to do a whole lot. You just pack up everything. They show up with the truck, pack it up and drop it off. Unpack it and you are good. When you're not doing a corporate move, you got to go and do a little, searching the Googles. You got to do all this yourself. So, you go and you look and you're just like, okay, two goofies in a truck. Let's see how you guys are.
Oh God. Not too goofy. Oh no.
The most out of this world pricing, Boogie. I'm like, what is going on here? And it's like, you're not even moving anywhere far. I'm like, what is a short distance, long distance? Short distance is anything 50 miles or less. And I was like, 100, we're moving 100 miles, Boogie. 100 miles. That is not long distance by anyone's standards. But to moving companies, it is. And it grinds my gears. So I'm going moving company after moving company after moving company. Some of these people are like, we only move out of state. And I was just like, put that on your website. That's the other thing. You have to go through. They're like, okay, you want a quote? Put all your information in. Then it's like, wait for someone to call you. Then they call you and re-ask you all of the information that you put on the quote sheet. And
of course.
Like, what is the point of this? And they've been blowing me up. They have been spamming me. And it is just like, deny, decline, deny, decline. Trash, spam. That is where I've been at. That's where I've been at. So you know what? Because everybody's too expensive. Pods, they're expensive too. And it's just like, pods would be cool. But then it's like, you have to hold my stuff for 5 days. Yeah. Why can't it just be a simple, pick it up this day, drop it off that day? It's 100 miles. So then you know what Google does? Google's like, hey, young black man, we see that you're trying to move and be responsible and not have your homies help you move. So we see we're going to send you some good some references. So they send me another company who's like Pods, but not. They're more expensive. How are you, the knockoff Pods company, more expensive? So I'm going to save myself a whole lot of money and go with you all. That's just what it's going to be, and it is what it is. I've already roped in the old people, and it's like, hey, people, life givers, what are you doing on such and such date? I'm buying dinner.
What the hell do you expect them to pick up and move?
Seeing that as that my dad actually worked for a moving company when he was like 16 or 17, which is kind of weird. Let's talk about that for a hot second. Let's go back to like the 70s, 80s. It was a weird time to where you would let 16, 17-year-old kids work for moving companies where they could go all across the country, unloading people's furniture and stuff. That is just unheard of. You're not letting a 16, 17-year-old kid do that. But back to the story, though. My dad he's a world-class top mover. He's like, hey, you got to angle it this way. Got to have this strap, blah, blah, blah. He's like, hey, man, we can get this done in less than 2 hours. And I'm like, bet. That's what we're going to go with. Because you know what? You got to make sure everything done before people get here to help you.
Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to. So obviously a couple of weeks before, going to be living off some boxes. Like, hey, everything is boxed up, ready to go. Just got to load it and get there and then unload it. And pizza's on me. Little Caesars, hot and MF ready.
I will say that is you were speaking earlier, tiers of rich.
What do you
That is,
mean?
yeah, that is, I would say, if you're able to just move without touching a finger,
Yeah,
um, other than pointing.
them two things.
I
You're like,
mean,
dang, that's dang.
that is that's money right there. Because I've heard of these of these type of experiences. I have a girlfriend who she's done quite a few corporate moves where it's literally she calls a company and say, I don't want to touch a finger. This is how many rooms, my square footage. How many guys? I need more than 2 guys.
So it's funny you say that, Boogie,
Yeah.
because during my last corporate move, even when I had a non-corporate move, moving from the south side of Chicago to the west side of Chicago,
Yeah.
you call the phone and it was like, how many rooms? And it was like,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Not now. Not
No.
now. They
No.
want to set up an appointment. They want to do a digital FaceTime so they can scan everything in the room. They want you to have an itemized copy of how many
Yep.
items you
Yep.
have. And I'm just like,
I mean, it's a
what are we
liability.
doing,
They
bro?
probably, to me, when I hear those things, they probably done broke a lot of shit,
Oh, yeah.
and they'd have probably had to reimburse. Um,
And so,
I,
with the corporate
yeah,
moves, my thing was like, I don't ever want people to box the stuff up for me because I feel like that just takes too much time. Like, that's longer that you have to be here. Like, I want this shit on the road. Like, I
that's
will
fair.
box this up for you. Now, the corporate moves when I was living at my parents' house, because they went through several of them, they actually had people box stuff up, and that was a lesson learned. My mom was like, "They broke my good china. I will
Yep.
never let anyone box my stuff up ever
Yeah.
again."
Hey
So,
man, you learn there's levels to a lot of, to everything. So I will say my next move, I will be packing like I normally do, but it's I will not be lifting a
yeah,
finger.
that's the way to do it. Like, pack it all and then just have them put it on the truck.
Yeah.
That is the way to do it. Also, I'm finding out that the company that I hired in Chicago to move from the south side to the west side probably weren't insured because
Oh,
it was insanely low. And as far as the price, it was like $700. So I was like, that's kind of low. But
yeah, that
also,
is.
they were strapping boxes to their backs and they were drinking Modelo's and
Oh
running
God.
up them stairs. When they broke stuff, I called them and they did not answer. That lets
Uh,
me know right then and there. I was like, I don't think you guys were insured. I appreciate you for, getting all my stuff in here, but you broke some of this stuff.
and
So
I will say during moves, I'm not expecting, discounts, because I feel like if you go
no.
to places where it's discounts, then you're gonna discountly lose everything that you had packed originally that you want back to the new place. I will say it just had like it most of the companies, you have to make the client, the customers, reassured that their stuff
Secured.
will be moved and secured to the new place. That's really what it comes down to.
It's like, oh yeah, we strap stuff down. And then you get there and see the boxes all over the place in the back. Like,
Yeah, that's just
what are we
what it
doing?
comes down to. Yeah. So
So that is my grinding of the MF and gears. Mover companies, just do better. Just do better. Do better.
yeah,
That's
that's a
all I'm asking.
scam in itself. So
It is. It really is. Boogie! It's time to get to people who are doing dope things in the community. Where's Obeezy?
I'm tipping my hat.
Who you tipping to?
my tipping is going out to playwright Brandon Jacob Jennings. They who won best play at the recent Tony Awards. Shout out to him for the revival of the play Purpose. Um, I yeah, this
Sounds
was
very
a
powerful.
this was a August Wilson. Um, oh no, it wasn't.
Fantastic.
Sorry. He also won a Tony for best play. Excuse me, a black playwright was the last black playwright to win best play was an August Wilson for the
Ooh, a lot of
1987
P's there. Play
Fences.
right.
Yeah, so had to get that right. But yeah, shout out to Brandon, doing history, making history, about freaking time. Shout out to him.
I'm only laughing because what I called him. Uh, we were getting
Oh
ready. I was
God.
like, the play in guy. Yeah, no.
Not you, in guy. Who you got for your tipping?
And sometimes I don't like saying the N word. Then sometimes it's like,
Oh,
yeah, you know. It's like I
that's
do kind of
fair.
enjoy it. Deloitte, they're giving their U.S. employees now $1,000 as
Nice.
a part of to boost their well-being. You know, a lot of companies they have like special things you can take advantage of,
Yeah.
discounts on
Wellness
gyms,
programs. Yeah.
home equipment.
Incentives.
You know,
Yeah.
so they've now added Legos and a couple other things at Deloitte. So, so I think they should do that. Kind of mad. I'm kind of mad, Boogie, because I applied to Deloitte several times and they told me no. They were just like, no, 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 no. And now, because you know, my love of Legos, you know, now they're gonna drop this. So now if I apply again, they're just gonna be like, no, again. We know what Nate's doing. He's only here for the 1,000 so he can get them Legos. And you're absolutely right. I get my little 1,000 running up at the Lego store in Schaumburg, and I would be out of there. So
Man, Legos are kind of expensive. I
kind
will
of.
say, I have a couple friends and a couple family members that they got shelves of Legos that they built, and I, peeked at one of the prices, and I was like, not for me.
Hey man, it is one of those things when you go in some people's homes and it's like, oh, you got money.
Yeah.
Because some of them Legos says you're right. It's like 100, 200, $300. You be like,
I want to get
yeah.
into it, but my pockets are telling me I am not
You know
rich
what you
enough.
gotta do? You have to go, you gotta stock the shelves. Sometimes online, certain companies will have discounts. You
Oh.
just buy it online and pick it up in the store.
Oh.
That's a
Okay,
good
good
way
to
of doing
know.
it. What else? Oh, a lot of the older ones, they just have them sitting on the shelf, so they're definitely trying to move them. So sometimes the prices aren't really what they are. So like if you're looking for like the flowers, bouquets, some of the other arrangements, those are gonna be
Yeah.
cheaper, you know.
That's fair.
It's definitely
Smart.
something that, you know, hey, welcome to the dark side of the Legos. Come on over here. Boogie! You know what time it is. Time for an can or can 19 The first up, it is the Resting Power. We've got Ananda Lewis passed away at 52. Sly Stone passed away on Monday. And we also had the passing of Wayne Lewis. He was the leader of Atlantic Star. So, a moment of silence for those impactful voices in entertainment. Again, rest in power. All right. First up on news you can or cannot use. DeMarcus Cousins suspended for scratching his balls and making a heckler sniff them. If you're
Oh,
listening, you heard me correctly. DeMarcus
oh
Cousins
God.
was suspended for scratching his balls, making a heckler then sniff it. He was fined 4,500 of them things, and you know he did issue an apology. You know, not gonna read it; it's out there if you want to see it. But Boogie, how do you feel about this exchange from Boogie Cousins and that?
If I feel like DeMarcus has been in a couple other weird, outlandish, like issues, matters with the NBA. I feel like he's just a goofball. Listen, overall, and the fact that he has has a career he's had a career for this long should be commendable on his end, because I thought they would have kicked him out, because he kind of reminds me just like of the antics of like a Dwight Howard, where
Okay.
folks meaning team members are like, hey man, what are you doing?
Get your mans.
Right, come get your guy here. You know what I'm saying? As well as coaches and organizations. I saw the video, and we made it a point to not show the video because
things just don't need to show.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I saw it, I was like, all right, ain't no way. Like, I think he forgot that he honestly,
he forgot where he was at.
I think that's what
you're in Puerto Rico, bro. NBA security is not there.
I honestly think he forgot where he was, because the way he did it so gingerly, just so like
he just walked over to that man. It was
I'm glad that he got suspended for the remainder of the season. It makes sense, because how you gonna come back to that at that point? I'm just saying
you really can't. This is one of those things. I agree with you. There are certain people in the locker rooms that people always talk about as like, yeah, get your mans. I just watched that Shooting Guards documentary with Gilbert Arenas. Phenomenal. And also, you'll see why a lot of people really don't like Gilbert. It's like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
That's where you kind of fall in line with Boogie Cousins. You know what? He was like Draymond Green before Draymond. I feel like there's a line with Draymond. It's a very thin line.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a line with Boogie. There's no line. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. But it was also one of those things when I heard about it. It was like, so did he go like raw nutsack and then finger to the face? Or was it like what we saw where he just went, just gonna grab my jock, right here and then put it to your face? Like, it's one of those things where if you're gonna disrespect someone by scratching your balls and then making them sniff your finger, you gotta go full raw finger to nuts. You have to really rub it in.
No, you also gotta remember he was playing, so he was probably perspiring. His
That's
juices
the whole point,
were.
Boogie. You have to really rub it in. Okay, so let's see. Okay, because he was being heckled. This is Puerto Rico, so I'm wondering what could have been said. What could be said?
We all know
what was that far.
We all know what was said. This is Puerto Rico. We all know
the dreaded N-word.
What could have with some other stuff? Yes, it was.
If this, because it's alleged still, if we were to find out that he's the N-words and things were said, which we probably feel like they were, does this then absolve him of the crime?
Listen, what happened to doing with what the older tenured basketball players back in the 30s, 50s when they was getting thrown at N-words and all curses and curse words and whatnot? What happened to just being silent and telling someone with authority and have that person removed? Like, where is that? Nowadays
he should have tightened up his belt like Bill Russell and been like, finger roll fundamentals. Take that, N-word fundamentals.
I'm just saying, it took Bill Russell a while for him to return back to the NBA, despite all of that, racism and just backlash that he got from just
couldn't
those
even sleep with the team.
You know what I mean? It's Boston back then, for God's sakes. Remember that. So you know what I mean? I will say, just for being the devil's advocate, because I feel like there should be someone to support or defend your man's. It does look like your man is packing. So I think that video. I know that's not your that's not your purpose reason to do that. I get it, but I will say,
Gadget Boogie.
I will say, if anyone was questioning whether or not he was packing, your man has a third leg, but that's no here nor there. Let me just say
that also could be another form of disrespect too. I'm just happy with my meat, just bam. I feel like those police officers saved his life.
Oh, of course.
Because I was like, yeah, bro, you're not gonna win this one.
Yeah.
And because at first I was like, why are they dumping popcorn and pop on him. Then I was like, oh, you done swiped your nuts across another man's mustache. I probably was supposed to pop on you too. Also, if I'm going to get a fine, I'm going to earn that fine. And I would say this is definitely a fine that was well earned.
That is some Draymond Green type of experience response. If you
I'm from the home of Draymond Green, Boogie. Come on. We drank the same water.
Yeah, and this is why y'all are the way that y'all. DeMarcus, I hope he listen. There's a time and place for those type of actions, and it just wasn't there.
What is the time and the place to swipe your nuts and then run it across another man's face? What is that time and place?
I'm just saying, like, if he felt like he was being disrespected, like I'm trying to help him out, like in the club or something, you know, like. I don't know.
You know what else though? What is the reaction time of the person that is the said things being afflicted upon? Like, I know he's not. Like, are you like what is? I want to know what that reaction. Does he make contact with your lip? Like,
beforehand?
I gotta know.
I will say he did. The guy, the spectator, did react quite fast because normally speaking, but you need to you need to be a little bit more proactive. You see your man's walking towards you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see that his hand is being placed. You have to think faster than what he did. I will say
also,
that
though,
much.
if like a 6'10" dude walks up, it's not a whole lot you can really do.
Yeah.
It's just like
I would have just got up. You
gotta hope that they that the people in the crowd help you. But you're right though, Boogie. Yeah. You are right. We'll give the oop to Boogie. Don't swipe your nuts and then put your finger on people's noses. You can't do that. But also
smelled like ass, nuts. Sweat.
NBA fines are just like astronomical. I only fine him like $4,500. It's just like y'all need to.
So that was my thing because I was like, I had to really listen to what you were saying as you were sharing the story because at one point I was gonna say, you mean 45,000?
No, 4,500. 500 less than 5,000. So I was like, so it makes me wonder, like, so you could probably pummel the shit out of someone in the Puerto Rico league. Oh my god! And they're not $10,000, you know.
Oh god.
Oh man, keeping it basketball. You know, the NBA finals is here. Game 3 was the other day. Game 4 is tonight. But that's not what's important. What's important is how we're going to talk about the abomination that Pacers legend himself,
here we go,
you know, had on. An abomination of a terrible outfit. Reggie, you know, all types of cardinal sins, you know, were committed, you know, and it could be trumped up to nothing other than he still lives in Indiana and he probably dates them pink toes. Those are the only two things that I could possibly think of. But Boogie, did you happen to see what Reggie Miller was wearing?
I did see what he was wearing, but I will ask and inquire, did he have it tucked?
Yes. For those of you who are listening, Reggie Miller had on, you know, his jersey, because who else's jersey would you wear, you know, to the house that you built, had on a hoodie, you know, which is okay. A lot of people wear hoodies.
People do that.
And
a jersey, yeah.
You know, I was sweating my ass off when the Lions lost to the, you know, Commanders.
Always got to make it about you.
You know,
go ahead.
My hoodie and my Lions jersey on. But you know, it's not about me. It's about Reggie. Reggie also had on the sneakers that he wore. I thought that was cool. He had on the Jordans that he used to wear when he was playing. But Reggie had the jersey and the hoodie tucked in, Boogie. You can't do that.
Wait. I'm looking at the image that we have here. He has it like he has just the front where, you know, people do when they like to tuck in around the belt. Okay, that's not terrible. I will say, yes, he's married to the aforementioned pink toe. But
it's Indiana.
Okay. I was just going to say, it's Indiana and it's Reggie Miller. If you've seen historically, he has a pattern. All of his outfits all of his outfits. I think it's all intentional. He's trying to ensure that no one will copy his style. And baby boy, ain't no way. It's no one's. You know what it is? He's giving R.I.P. to your man, but and
R.I.P.
I
to
can't.
OKC.
No, what'd you say?
R.I.P. to OKC. Because they
No,
are down. They are down in the
no.
series. So
Okay, see, I'm talking about the correspondent. What's his name? And
Craig Sager.
yeah, Craig Sager. I
Well,
couldn't think
see,
of his
Craig
name.
would know. Craig would not. He would not wear a hoodie and tuck it in. Craig wouldn't do that. Craig has style.
But that's not a hoodie. If
that
you
is
guys,
a hoodie. It's got a hood on it.
It's a hoodie, but it's a light hoodie.
It's still a hoodie. Hoodie's in the name.
Okay. Well, okay. It is a hoodie, but it's not an oversized hoodie. It's a light.
No,
it's one of those t-shirt hoodies.
Yeah, but you still can't tuck that in. You just have to let it
Okay.
flow. The only way Reggie can get away with this, you got to have an ignorant ass belt buckle. You got to have like, I'm rich. You got to have
not one of them old put your name on the belt buckle.
You have to have like the biggest Gucci, Ferragamo,
Oh,
whatever ultimate boss nigga that us regular niggas can't shop at. You need that belt buckle right there. Reggie
but
just
he's
has
it's a regular.
Still,
he's very unassuming.
It's regular.
But you also have to remember Reggie is about 110 pounds wet. Him wearing anything European style and close to the body might not look right for him. So
just don't tuck it in. Buy a smaller jersey. Just do that.
Right.
Buy a shorter jersey.
That's probably his original jersey. Real talk.
Now, that's the ultimate flex. That is. Also, though, if I'm Reggie Miller and I'm walking into the stadium, are you paying for anything? Or are you just grabbing shit like I'm fucking Reggie Miller? Like, how does that work? Excuse me, y'all. I'm just grabbing my jersey here. I'm about to go down to the floor. What do you do?
He's probably in a box suite. So
he was sitting on the floor. He was sitting.
I know that, but I'm just saying, like, just because you have courtside seats, you also have some people have access to the suites. So he probably doesn't ask for drinks and whatnot, because if he really wants to, he'll go grab some upstairs. But that's a very good question. Like, he did have, from what I saw, he did have his son there. So if his son, like, what if his son wants something? You know what I mean?
Paying for shit. You know who I am? Look up in the rafters. That's me.
Oh God.
I mean, I was gonna say you got to have some perks here.
Yeah.
You still live in Indiana. Like, come on.
Right.
But Reggie, you got to let the jersey flow, brother. Like, there's no reason. He's also from LA. He's from LA. Like, what are we doing here, Boogie? What are we doing here?
Fair.
Reggie out here committing all types of sins, man.
You're hilarious.
Keeping things rolling here. It's a rich kid statement here. Malia Obama drops her last name. This is nothing more than I am richer than you guys. Michelle Obama said, I mean, it is very important for my kids to feel like they've earned what they are getting in the world. And they don't want people to assume that they don't work hard, that they're just naturally just handed things. Let you go first, Boogie. Let you go first.
I will say, I don't think she technically, like, legally dropped her name. She probably made it a point for her publicists and press to, let them know, like, hey, just to let everyone know, I am dropping my last name. But she's not moving away from the family. She's not, isolating from the family. She's just separating.
No matter what you do, you can't change that face. Okay. Like I ran to Obama's daughter. You sure did. My bad.
Hey man, I hate you. Yeah, but I mean, I get it. If there was a couple other Nepo babies, children, I should say, off top, I want to say Katie Holmes's daughter, she dropped her name, or Angelina Jolie's daughter as well, dropped her name as well, last name. So I get it, I understand. But to your point, Yeah, we all know who you are. So
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like phenomenal director.
oh yeah.
Cannot cold with that. But it's still those things where it's like you had an internship with Childish Gambino, you've worked
Mm-hmm.
under Ava DuVernay.
Mm-hmm.
And again, even the most talented people that I went to film school or whatever, they might not get those opportunities. Whereas, again, we understand that you have to do the work once you get a foot in the door. But let's
you
not
need
act
that
like
foot.
that door was
Yeah.
not wide the fuck open. It's a
Yeah.
lot easier for you to work with Childish Gambino
Yeah.
and Ava DuVernay when they're cool with Obama. Like those are those things where it's like you're never going to get away from it. Katie Holmes kids, maybe, because no one knows who the hell y'all are. We know who Malia Obama is. It's just one of those things. But it's also like, again, I get it 100%. But also, look, if you got the name, I'm going to use it. I was blessed to be born into this family. And I'm not saying she's discrediting that. It's just, hey, I can't change it. So it is what it is. I'm going to tell you what I would do.
What?
I would get a stamp. Like, it would just be like a weird little calligraphy type of stamp. Boom, that's my name. What is this? I don't know, man. Look up the stamp. Like that's how it's gotta be. It's gotta be something like that, where it's like, yeah, I'm selling Obama, but boom, kind of like Prince when he had that symbol. Like it'd be something like that. But I'm not mad at her, but this is definitely out of the book of privilege.
So
keeping things rolling. Speaking of Black excellence and privilege, the BET Awards 2025 just happened. Boogie, how do you feel about? First of all, did you watch it? What do you think about it?
I didn't. I did not watch it because I think I might have said this in the beginning.
Like people.
Whoa, relax. I did mention this, but award shows in general will not get any of my time. That's just something that I've been pretty adamant and committed to doing that. So, but yeah, I did hear good things. I saw some clips. Didn't catch Kevin's opener, but again, I've seen clips, and overall, I want to say it from what people have saying, it's been getting positive reviews. I haven't seen a lot of performances, but the performances that I did see, the Mariah Carey popping out, Jamie Foxx celebration, tribute, I should say, memorandums. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Memoriam.
Sure.
One of them words.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm
we
just
right
saying.
here. We right here.
Yeah, listen, y'all know what I mean. Come on now. This is but yeah, I overall, like, just seeing Kevin Hart really get in his bag, and you can tell that he really made sure that his team and the writers for BET overall, shout out to Sheets for sure, really took the time to really make it an overall good experience. So
definitely, I mean, you pretty much said it all. Kevin hosted very well, so so that was dope. It was very funny. The show flowed. It flowed very well. Like I said, kudos to She's head writer of the BET. They all did a phenomenal job. They really highlighted the nostalgia factor. I know a lot of us like, ooh, nostalgia, because you do too much with it. But it was the right amount of nostalgia from when they had the 106 and Park stuff there. They had all those performances. I think that was dope. B2K, A. Marie, Ashanti, all those were really good. My favorite performance of the night arguably had to have been Tiana Taylor. Killed it. Just straight up killed it. That album, I can already tell, is going to be phenomenal. So mine is going to be somewhere crying in his pillow while she's listening to that with
Mufasa,
Aaron, Pierre, Mufasa. I just want to get my back blown out in peace, y'all.
Hey, when she said that, I was like, hey, yo. Okay.
She's like, leave her alone. Phenomenal performance there. It was 5 hours long. I looked up and I was like, goddamn, 4.5
Yeah.
hours. I was like, well,
Yeah, y'all could do that. Y'all can keep that for me.
the only dislikes I had, I think they could have did a better job with the gospel award. Like, how does Glorilla win the Bobby Jones Gospel Award? Like, come on now. I think that gospel awards should be primarily for resident gospel artists, not just people who dip a toe in there for one song on the album. Love the
Yeah.
song, love the
Yeah.
album, but even
That
Glorilla
was a
hinted
little
at that.
odd. Yeah, that was a
Even
little
she
odd.
hinted at that. I did like the black tie. Everybody was dressed. I love that. Even the hoochies, they was dressed. Loved it all. I did like portions of. I get why Kai didn't take that money. He didn't get paid for the BET Awards. Makes sense. And Kevin Hart kind of alluded to, you guys are here. You're able to bring your cameras because of certain things that, we negotiate, those types of things. Smart. Makes sense. Because I feel like if you took that money, you probably wouldn't have been able to stream like that.
Yeah.
So that was cool, kind of bridging that gap between new and old. Dislikes. Let's get to it. Can't talk about Black excellence and then honor Snoop Dogg. That was just a weird thing. That was just like, what? Like, I understand his impact in hip hop, but that's not the right time to do that, especially after Homie was DJing at a crypto ball for maggots. Like, we got to separate that. Like, we got to figure out, what are we doing here?
And give folks just a little brief. What exactly transpired with Snoop? And I say people, me too, because I didn't quite understand.
He was he DJ'd the crypto ball when Trump got in and all that stuff at
Right.
inauguration, and he then kind of doubled down,
Right.
on his stance on it. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. If you over here performing for the maggots,
Mm-hmm.
Why are we honoring you at a black event? Which even Doechii called out some things, and I was like, why you're not getting the resounding applause you normally would? Because a lot of them niggas in there voted for Trump. So call it what it is. So I thought you could miss me with that. So that was a performative BS.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry's performance, that was chef's kiss. I tweeted it out. I was like, he needs to open up a mega church, because that little speech that he gave, if you were someone who could be easily fleeced, you would have gave all your money to the preacher right then and there.
Tyler Perry or Kirk Franklin?
Tyler Perry. Because his whole, like, I was walking on the beach with my son, and Papa, I'm walking in your footsteps. It's like, nobody believes any of that. Like,
God,
like, what are we doing here?
Not Papa.
I will agree with him when it comes to yes, he has made more millionaires than any of the other studios. Cannot take that away from him.
Of course.
You do get 1,000 upon 1,000 hand claps for that. But I feel like Tyler Perry is that pimp. He's that drug dealer in the neighborhood who gives out turkeys.
2 things can be true.
During Thanksgiving, he gives out turkeys and presents during Christmas.
Yeah.
He will buy you a car. Yeah. Just so you can then be like, well, you can't say nothing about him because he putting black people on. And it's just like, you're not exempt from criticism, especially when you're constantly churning out
the same
trauma,
tropes. Yeah.
And that's just what it is. And I get it. These are people's lives. I get it. But are there no good stories that black people have went through? Do you not know the stories of any black person that grew up in the burbs, or any black person that maybe have been mega wealthy? Why do you only know the stories like Straw, where someone gets kicked out the apartment, their daughter dies, they get fired from their job, they gotta walk in the rain, can't cash a check, all within the first 30 goddamn minutes? It's the only shit he knows.
Yeah, it's old and tired, but y'all keep buying it and watching it. So
exactly. And you know what he said? He even dangled it out there. He was like, I gotta thank black women. Kudos, because you do have to thank black women. Black women are the backbones of goddamn everything. They support everything. So yes, you do have to thank black women. He was like, y'all made Straw go #1, and y'all gonna make Divorced Sisters go #1. So he already knows that he has finessed y'all. And it is just, it's insane. And to kind of see him sit up there and play in people's faces. And it's just like, look, bro, not saying you don't do anything good. Because again, it's dope to put actors in those positions. What about the producers? What about the writers? What about the directors? What about the camera people? You are overlooking all of that, and that's why your stories are ass. Like it is what it is. And I'm sure someone's going to be like, "Nick, you don't like black people because you're talking about Tyler Perry." Kiss my black ass.
Dang. Okay.
But the BET Awards. Back to that. It was it's a good show. A lot of funny jokes.
Okay.
I did enjoy the Kurt Franklin segment. That was dope. I feel like that was a good way to end the show.
Yeah.
Even Kevin Hart came out and ain't no after parties. Take your asses home, which I did think it was weird. It was on a Monday, but I guess it kind of makes sense because what can you really do on a Monday? You know, outside of taking your ass home. So all in all, I think the bar has been set. It's got to be the best BET Awards. Probably like the last 8 or 9 years.
I was gonna say
arguably.
as of late. Yeah.
So that bar has been set now to you got to keep bringing this level of show.
Yeah.
I also think it was kind of crazy that this was Mariah Carey's first BET award. I actually looked that up. I looked it up. And 2005, she lost to A-Marie. And I was like, there's no way in the world she should have lost. Emancipation of Mimi was out.
Yeah. A-Marie is having a moment.
Boy, is she. The resurgence of whatever you want to call it. Maya also looked really good at the BET Awards too. Forgot to say that. Talk about someone who does not age and the voice still sounds the same. So it's like, whatever you're doing, bottle that so we can buy that. But like I said, all in all, I thought it was good. And I probably will be tuning in next year. I will just say that. You guys have already got my vote.
All
I will
right.
be tuning in
That's
next
fair.
year. So it was cool. Lost my train of thought. I have something else to say about the BET Awards, but never mind. Let's get to y'all niggas is tripping.
Y'all niggas tripping.
Who is tripping for you?
My y'all niggas is tripping has got to go out to this beef.
Are you gonna do it?
Oh God.
Are you gonna do it?
I mean, you can do it because I don't want to do it. You can do it. Do it.
I'll do it when you're done.
I'm just saying, like, this whole rap phenomenon, guys, we've seen this before with the chicken sandwiches. Y'all gotta be smarter. Y'all got to be smarter than this. They are dangling this death left and right to us, and we are just eating it up. Literally. We are literally eating this up. Popeyes, if you haven't heard, introduce their version of a snack wrap of chicken wraps, and all of their flavors of, what is it? Honey mustard, original, spicy, blackened. And I'm gonna be honest. At that moment,
they had you when they said blackened.
At that moment, I did really turn into the temptation, and I had to get it. But then it dawned on me. I tried the wraps, but then it dawned on me. I'm talking about as soon as I took a bite, I looked at it, and first of all, I started perspiring because of all the sodium, that it is. But I looked at it and I was just like, look at this propaganda exploitation of what they are doing to the Black community and just to the community in general. We got to stop. We have to stop going for the easy temptation. This is what's killing us left and right, and yet we are like, you gotta go try those snack wraps. You gotta, because the advertising is crazy, and the fact that Mary J. Blige got a lot of she got a lot of flack for that. And I'm seeing people sing the song as they go ahead and order the Popeyes chicken wraps.
First of all, I'm like, you know what? I can't really give her that much flack. She got like $1 million for that. So it's like,
I mean, she got paid. She got paid.
all the niggas who are singing it, you're not getting anything. And secondly, if I'm working at Popeyes or McDonald's and you roll up and you're singing that song, next order, like I'm gonna make you go around. Like you got to get out of line and come back to order like you got some sense, because it's not even that spot. This is not even Burger King. What are we doing here?
Yeah, listen, I'm not perfect. Like I said, I am coming to you guys as an imperfect person and sharing with you that they got me too. And that's why I'm giving them y'all niggas is tripping, is because we gotta be better. We gotta step up. We gotta be a little bit more disciplined and try and stay away from this garbage, this cancer food that's literally killing us. And I gotta be the first one to step up and say it. So that go my y'all niggas is tripping.
What was the rating of it though? And have you had the McDonald's one to rank side by side?
I don't remember if I had the chicken snack wraps for McDonald's. I feel like I had, because I was eating chicken at that point. But I will say the original and the spicy pretty much.
Oh, you had
taste
all
the
three?
Same.
You
I had a bite. I literally had one bite of all of them. I had one bite of all of them.
Box of snack
I
wraps.
did. I had one bite of the only one I didn't have was the blackened one, because they didn't have it on DoorDash.
Dang.
You got to go in and ask for it.
Let me find out. That's like a special request. Like, no, we got to put the blackening on there ourselves. This one don't come pre-frozen.
Because it's actually grilled blackened chicken. So I was very disappointed in myself when I saw.
I can tell. You're like someone who doesn't eat Arby's and they go to Arby's and they're like, this is why I don't eat Arby's. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from you.
That's exactly what it is. I know better, and yet I chose to do that dumb shit. So but overall, the honey mustard one is easily the best one.
Okay.
If you and look, and now because I'm saying this, I know y'all niggas are gonna go and try.
Definitely not
that damn honey mustard. No, but I will say it does taste like it's good, but I don't know. Nowadays, I can tell when chicken or just meat in general tastes artificial. That's why I felt so bad about myself. That's honestly what it was. I'm like, wow, they really hitting us with this pink stuff.
No, I'm not even gonna hold you. I had some Olive Garden takeout, and I was like, you know what? I just made spaghetti, so I'm not about to go and order Parmesan chicken from there when I just made spaghetti. So I'm like, you know what? Get a little white sauce, a little fettuccine with the steak. This steak did not taste like steak. So I get exactly what you were saying. I'm like, what kind of meat is this? Like, what is this?
Yeah,
tastes so fucking processed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I'm saying y'all tripping. Y'all niggas.
So is it what's the number rating? If you had to rank it 1 out of 10, what are we ranking this experience? Because we know you're not going back.
Listen, I do like Popeyes, but only when they have those specialty shrimp, butterfly shrimp.
Those are good.
Those are fire. I get it. Those are exactly what I need. If I need some, want to, indulge, that's what I'm going to do.
Do the crawfish too?
I don't do the crawfish.
Okay.
But I'll do the popcorn shrimp.
Popcorn shrimp is good. I have tried their crawfish. I did judge myself because I was like, hey, bro, you ordering crawfish from a fast food spot. But also I was like, look at yourself, bro. You don't really care about your body. So you kind of eat.
Again, I had that realization. I had that moment, that look of like isolation, like, what are we doing here? What are you trying to gain from this? Like, what is the whole point of this? It was a 3. Yourself. It was a 3. I would definitely say a 3. Listen, I'm not saying don't never eat fast food. No one's saying that at all. What I'm saying is, let's be a little bit more conscious on what fast food.
Eat better fast food. No snack wraps.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, guys. God.
No, that's a very very valid take. These are the kind of food critiques that we need, because a lot of these niggas be lying. It's good. You go there and be like, this shit was not good. We need more like this. So
but again, my palate is different than others. If y'all want to go ahead and do it and come into the comments and be like, hey, Adrian, I don't know what you're talking about. That the spicy original, they all taste good. What are you
Was
talking
yours
about?
like a full wrap? Because I did see someone that posted and they kind of were gypped, like they unfolded it and like half the wrap was like nothing
No,
but one little
I will say
strip.
it was a full wrap with the
Oh, okay,
pickles.
okay.
I even just to get the full experience, one wrap I asked for no cheese, and the other wrap I asked for cheese, just so I
Okay.
could taste exactly what I mean. And I say cheese, but we know it's
All
not
right.
cheese.
They was like,
So
oh, we have a food critique out here. No cheese on this one.
yeah. So who you
Oh
got for
man.
your niggas is tripping?
My niggas is tripping. This whole Kai and Wally
Oh
back and forth.
gosh.
You know, it's one of those things where it's like I get both sides of this.
What exactly happened?
There was quite a few exchanges. Apparently, there was an exchange what looked like to be in a parking garage. Wale had a switch on him. Apparently, Kai was like, "Hey, what you playing on the switch? Oh, Smash Brothers, I'll get you, bro." Blah, 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 blah. The regular banter. Hops in the car. I was kind of like, "Hey, you know who that was? Who was that?" And the security guard, whoever the driver is like, "Oh, it's Wale." Rattled off some songs. Even the chat was like, "Yeah, it's Wale." And he was like, "Wally," didn't necessarily know who he was at that particular moment. Wale spun the block while he was, talking to Snoop, which kind of seemed very awkward, at that moment to kind of, talk to someone. The words were kind of like, I'm looking kind of funny on this chat right now.
Yeah.
We'll talk later. That was weird. That was a weird exchange. I'm not gonna lie there. But let's backtrack first though. I feel like I hate the I am young. I hate that with a passion. And so many people use that as an excuse.
Okay.
And it's like, look, man, no one is exempt. Yes, you're in this industry. You need to know who the people are in these buildings. Yes, you might not know everybody,
Right.
but I mean, you should be able to put the name with the face or at least recognize some of this stuff. I think it was a little weird because people were saying that they've hosted events together. And I get it. You're not going to remember every event that you might do, but I think you might remember who you were hosting with. And also he was like, "Oh, I was 9 when Lotus Flower Bomb came out." Not an excuse, because some of us
Oh God.
were listening to records. We could say who Earth, Wind and Fire was. We were like 5 years old. So, some of these are not excuses of just I am young. Do I think he meant to slide him? Absolutely not. I don't think it was one of those things. So it's not one of those things where I could be like, "Hey, is this something worth pressing someone over?" I don't want to say it was a press, just a conversation. That's where it was kind of weird because it's like, all right, bro, you are in your 40s and he's in his 20s. So I think maybe there would have been a better approach to that, to just being like, hey, like, technically Wale would be one of those OGs of that time frame for a 9-year-old. Wale, Big Sean, Drake, Kendrick. There's a lot of people that we can name. So, and it's not like the brother has not put out tons of good records. No Hands is played like 18 times at all these little
It
streamer
is.
events. So it's like, just do a little better as knowing where you're at. And I will give Kai at this point, it legit does not seem intentional. Like even when it's people that he does not know. I saw a video where he didn't necessarily know who Robin Thicke was, and he was kind of like, "I don't know, but I'm nice to meet you." And Robin was like, "Yeah, I watch stream all the time." Some of these people, it's like, yeah, bro, they're not really that old, not to that
Yeah.
point where you should not know who they are.
Yeah.
So again, it's like, stop using the I'm young. Stop using that as an excuse. But also, old heads, let's give just a little sliver, just a tiny
Yeah.
sliver. Because in this regard, honestly, the play should have been, yo, Wale, slide back later on to then introduce yourself again to make yourself look better. You kind of made yourself look goofy in this regard,
I saw both clips, and I feel like Wale, he's done a couple missteps. He's had a couple missteps in his career. To the point where, not to say that's probably why he's at this, particular position right now, because that's not the case. Life is life, and you don't necessarily need to always be putting out music and whatnot. I get it. But I will say he's been kind of wrong on a couple things, on a few
Yeah.
things. And I don't know if it's because of his cockiness um, and arrogance. I don't know if that's a DC, Maryland, DMV thing. I don't know.
Orland.
Yeah, not quite sure. But or short man mentality. I don't
Short
know.
King syndrome.
Yeah, I
I get what
don't
you're putting
know.
down. I
But
get
I will say that just agree with you. That wasn't the right time because he's live streaming it. What makes you think? What makes you think your audio, what you're saying, is not gonna get caught by his audio? Like you've seen his stream before.
Snoop
So
was even sitting there like, "Oh, is what we doing right now?" Okay. Snoop was just like
it
nod
was
his head
yeah,
like,
it felt weird, but some black people don't know when to you
"Yeah,
know
just let it go."
to chill and to bring it up at a later date. People don't know that. Some people need to get it out. Maybe he's been in so much therapy that he's one of the tools is to air it out right then and there. Don't suppress your feelings and emotions of the time if you feel something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he definitely took a page out of the "you check it on site." Took a
Yeah.
page out of that book. Yeah,
Ugh.
this a lot of people have said throughout his career he tends to be a little sensitive about things. Their
Yeah.
words, not mine. And
Yeah.
sometimes you can kind of see that when people's career you're looked at as like, yo, you that nigga. And
Yeah.
Wale was putting out a
Yeah.
lot of dope ass records back in them
Yeah.
days. Had some stuff with Lady Gaga, all types of people where you like, okay, here that dude. So I can kind of see where you might be like, I feel slighted, but
Sure.
that's still not the time to do that. So lessons were learned
For sure.
Let's get to this final topic, and we'll be all right back.
It's the final topic. It's the final topic.
I'm jealous still. I don't have my guitar yet. And, Teddy Riley came out at the BET Awards with a guitar, and I instantly got jealous. I was just like, okay, Tyler. Okay. You gonna flex on me? You gonna flex on us like that? Okay.
Oh God.
TSA is reminding travelers that a Costco membership is not acceptable as a real ID. That's right, Boogie. You are not mishearing things. It says TSA is frustrated with travelers attempting to use Costco membership cards as a real ID for flying, clarifying these cards are not valid identification. As of May 7th, most adults need a passport or a real ID compliant driver's license or state issue ID marked with the white star in a circle in the corner to board domestic flights. Requirement stems from a 2005 law passed after 9/11 to enhance security. Real IDs are available through the NBA. Blah, 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 blah. I think it's kind of crazy that people are, this reminds me of like when people give to the police fund and they get pulled over and it's like, I'm a cop, you can't give me a ticket. And they're like, sir, this is not a badge. Like, yeah, it is. I give to the police fund. That's what this sounds like. Because who in their right mind, just like, yeah, you know what? Costco member, I'm the executive,
Oh gosh.
not even a gold star, black card. Like, I don't shop at Costco. I'm a Sam's Club type of guy, scan and go. That's what I like. But I'm just wondering, like, is it that much better in Costco? Does that membership card just make you get that glow? Like, how are you this emboldened?
Guys, I want to remind you, if you don't have your real ID, just use your passport. Just use your passport. And if you don't have your passport, then that's really the issue at hand. That's really what this conversation should be. Using your Costco card, that says a lot because Costco is not everywhere.
They really aren't.
Costco isn't in the East Coast. They have it's called BJ's.
Yeah.
They have BJ's here, which, gotta be honest, when I first heard it, I was like, "Hey, yo, BJ's? What?
Yeah, that's
We're
the worst possible name for a store.
yeah. Hey, you want to go get some BJ's? You want to get something from BJ's? Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
listen,
it's just
it's yikes. It's a
yeah.
lot going on right there. But
I went to
yeah,
Bernard James to pick up some liquor.
yeah. Listen, Costco members and Sam's Club members, as well as all of the big box members, you guys are very cocky.
Whoa,
We
whoa, whoa.
You guys are very cocky for somebody that's really purchasing warehouse sizes uh products that will last you for 6 to 10 months.
Pop Tarts for days, Boogie. We got
I
Pop Tarts for days.
I I'm on the side of excess is not necessary. You know what I mean? I
Okay.
don't
You're
I
one of
went to
those.
Yeah, I am. I am. I went to was it Costco, or I went to a big box uh store, and I looked at it and I was just like grossed out, to tell you the truth. Um because unless you are feeding an army football team, if you have a family that is more than 3, what more than 4 really, what are you doing?
I mean, Boogie, okay. Trash bags are expensive. You
Oh,
got to
here we
buy
go.
those in bulk. Paper towels, toilet paper are used at high frequencies, especially in Black households that have women in them. You are used at a higher frequency. So you got to go to Sam's for some of those things. Now, is when you get, when you get lost in the aisles, that's when you're like, okay, I really don't need, like, a pound of graham crackers, or a pound of animal crackers, stuff like that, where you're like, okay, some of this is excess, but 2 loaves of bread, throw one in the freezer, eat one now, that just keeps you from having to go to the store.
Ugh,
Well,
laziness.
I feel like Sam's Club, I am superior. Scan and Go Ho.
Oh God.
Go Ho. That's all I'm gonna say. Does Costco have Scan and Go? No. So you cannot tell me anything about Sam's Club. Scan and Go Ho. That's all I'm saying. Scan and Go Ho.
All right. Okay.
But just take your ID and or your passport, and we don't have to worry about
Yeah,
that. Like, that's all you gotta do.
that's it.
It's that simple. Let's get on up out of here. But before we do, Boogie. You know what time it is? Time for that nothing blunt fact. It's like, oh my gosh, Nate, are you high? Maybe. Or it's like, oh my gosh, Nate, that was a very blunt take. It is what it is. So here we go. Boogie, did you know that aphids are born pregnant? Did you know that?
That what?
Aphids, like the little insects. Animal facts today, Boogie. Aphids are born pregnant.
I don't know what aphids are, so
those little beetle things, that be coming out of the ground sometimes at night, kind of like cicadas, but not necessarily as loud. On your Googles late at night, what is an aphid?
won't be Googling that.
You'll see. Also, I have a twofer. Shout out to Snapple. Again, not an ad for these facts. Did you know that blueberries are also known as starberries? Makes you wonder. Did Starberry? Did he have to have a claim against blueberries? Did the blueberry farmers come out and be like, hey, he's selling starberries when our product over here are the starberries? But, do what you will with that information. Again, aphids are born pregnant, and blueberries are also known as starberries. Shout out to Snapple for providing me with those dope facts underneath the cap. I really think it's dope that they're continuing to do that. Shout out to all the subscribers. Shout out to the day ones. Like, subscribe on all of your podcast platforms. I think I stole your line. My bad, but
No, that was it. just remember to smash that bell so you can get notified when our content drops, as well as, tell a friend to tell a friend that this is your favorite podcast and they should be listening to it as well.
They should. Run everything. Boogie said it all. I have nothing else for you but here's your favorite late night podcast that we sometimes shoot during the day. I'm Nathan Cowboy.
And I'm Adrian Brady.
Ba-da-da-da.